Hello and welcome to the debut episode of Jedihunter Toy Reviews, where today we're going to be taking a look at the latest Toys R Us exclusive for the Star Wars Black Series line, the Imperial Hovertank pilot. Alright, first up we got the nice little image of the Hovertank pilot right there on the front, clearly sticking in line with the rest of the style of the Force Awakens Black Series line. Get a nice little shot of him inside the box. As you can see, it just comes with one gun, looks pretty much the same as the regular original trilogy Stormtrooper from the looks of it. Nice little detailing so far. You can see you got a little scuff marks, a little dirt it looks like on him. On the side, just saying Imperial Hovertank pilot. And then we got the back, same image as the front, and then a nice little bio. Here right on the side we just got Hovertank pilot. No number, as you can tell, since it's a Toys R Us exclusive. Alright, fresh out of the box, and just gotta say, this figure looks fantastic so far. Although the only one issue I noticed right off the bat, which you can look here, and just notice right there with the feet, how the heel dips down in the back a little bit, and how the feet with the toes in the front are kind of bent down too. So it looks like it might have some issues with posability and doing some stuff with him. I haven't really noticed any issues myself, but it might be an issue for some, and I'm not really sure if this is an issue with the figure itself, but not really too much of an issue so far. Like I said, just a little bit of a weird thing that I've noticed so far with the figure. Another thing I want to point out real quick just before getting into the bulk of the review is you can notice right here on this little shoulder buckle right here on his right side, it's all painted silver. But here over on the left, it's definitely missing some paint. Not really a deal breaker in any sense, but it still is a little bit of a shame to see just a little bit of inconsistency in the paint, since that's been like a little bit of the norm with Hasbro. Alright, fresh out of the box, and just gotta say, this figure looks fantastic so far. Although the only one issue I noticed right off the bat, which you can look here, and just notice right there with the feet, how the heel dips down in the back a little bit, and how the feet with the toes in the front are kind of bent down too. So it looks like it might have some issues with posability and doing some stuff with him. I haven't really noticed any issues myself, but it might be an issue for some, and I'm not really sure if this is an issue with the figure itself, but not really too much of an issue so far. Like I said, just a little bit of a weird thing that I've noticed so far with the figure. As you can see, this figure, like I said, looks fantastic. I mean, great job on Hasbro's part getting this sculpt down really nicely. Like, I can already tell this is going to be a figure that some of the modders in the collecting community is going to have some fun with, just with the helmet alone. Really nice paint apps as well. As you can see, I noticed some issues with some of the other ones I saw, with some of the little black lines right here on the helmet, as well as slight variations with some of the dirt marks, I'm guessing, right here, as well as on the back. Like, these ones I noticed like were a little bit more faint on other figures that I saw, as well as the little marks right here on the front were a lot more prominent on other figures. And now for the head itself, the joint, you can see you can get quite a bit of range of movement out of it. You can go forward a little bit, goes back quite a bit too. You can get a little bit of head pivot to the left and to the right, and get quite a bit of movement out of the head, which is really nice. Really helps for all the poses that you want to do with this figure. But yeah, no, I'm really loving the head, the sculpt, and just all the posability all around is really nice. I'm not really too much into customizing, but if I was, I would love to like make something out of this guy with this little helmet. It looks so sweet. I know, really nice job with the helmet. And then with the joints on this guy, really nice. I know not a lot of people are going to be happy that they're sticking with just the single elbow joint, but you'd be surprised. Like, I've messed with it a little bit. You can get quite a bit of range of movement out of him. As you can see, bend all the way at 90 degrees. You can even like bend it back a little bit. Probably not meant to, but it doesn't seem like it's really going to break the figure if you go back a little bit like that. And then with the shoulders, really nice too here, because I know like with some of the first order stuff, like really hampered by a little shoulder armor piece right there, but as you can see, it kind of dips in a little bit, so it gives you even more range of movement right there. And then you can twist it all the way around, full 360 degrees, go out like that, and then get some really nice poses with the gun, as I'll show you later. And now on to... Now on the actual figure itself with posability, you can see right here, not the same as with the original trilogy Stormtroopers, how, you know, as you can tell, it's just got the single joint right here on the elbow. You can get a full 90 right there, and then kind of goes back a little bit like this. And then really nice right here. Unlike some of the First Order stuff where you couldn't really get a lot of posability out of the arms due to how the armor was designed, you can actually get quite a bit of range of movement out of this guy. As you can see, kind of the little shoulder piece kind of dips in right here, and then you can get like full 360 degrees on that guy, go up, down, back, forward. One thing I noticed too, unlike the original trilogy Stormtrooper, like, it doesn't have the double joints on the elbow, which I know a lot of people have been having issues with some of the Black Series as of late. But one other thing I noticed too that was different from the original trilogy Stormtrooper stuff is that it doesn't have a little joint right here separating the shoulder and the arm where you can sort of get some rotation on it. But as you can see, they kind of included this joint right here to be able to twist around like this just to make up for that, which I actually kind of prefer a little bit just because it doesn't break up the armor right there, which I don't have an issue with the original trilogy Stormtrooper, but it's just a nice little detail that I'm glad they didn't really mess with. And you can see right here, got a little wrist joint right here, and like the original trilogy Stormtrooper, can pivot just slightly up and down like that. I'm not sure if it's maybe just my figure, but I noticed on the left hand doesn't really pivot as much. Kind of feels like I might break it. Maybe the joint is just really tight though. Unlike with some of the troopers that we've been getting lately from the Black Series, like with the First Order stuff, you don't get really a lot of range of movement out of the legs due to the armor being a hindrance on the figure itself with posability. But as you can see right here, you can get quite a bit of range of movement out of this guy. You can get the legs apart about this much. It seems like they really don't want to go much farther than that. And then you got this nice little thigh joint right here where you can get a whole full 360 degrees on it. Really helps with the poses, and I can tell just by holding this figure, they really did a nice texturing job right here on the pants. You can get a real nice feel for it, where it kind of gives it sort of like maybe like a jean or a cloth feeling, but of course like being plastic. And then of course you got the double jointed knees right here, go all the way back, about like that. And then of course you got the nice little ankle joint right here on the foot. Really nice, get quite a bit of range of movement out of that pivot, left and right. Really nice with keeping in line with the original trilogy Stormtroopers right here, with both of the little shin guards, both having different little parts on the knees right here, sort of comparing to... One more thing I want to point out real quick on the feet that's really nice is just keeping in line with the original trilogy stuff. You can see both of the knee guards have different looks to them, sort of keeping in line with the original trilogy Stormtrooper, and really look nice. I really love the look of this figure, sort of got armored as well as just like sort of just like the little cloth pant look to him. Really nice. Another thing I want to point out with this guy is just one thing I was noticing with this figure, and also some of the other Black Series I've been getting from the Force Awakens line, which isn't really too much of an issue, just a little bit weird to me when you want to like pose some of them, is just some of the thigh joints right here I've noticed have been a little bit too tight, where you have to really force them at first to get them to move, but then they kind of loosen up a little bit, but not too much after like getting them to move at first. Same with the knee joints right here, kind of have to force a little bit, worried about breaking it sometimes, but still really nice. I definitely prefer it to be a lot tighter than loose. See, here's the the blaster that comes with the Hovertank pilot. Definitely pretty much the same as the ones that come with the original Stormtrooper, although there are some minor alterations, as you can see right here on the side. It looks like it's got a little bit of a flashlight on it, as well as just on the side, they just changed the size of the clip. And here's just a couple shots of some size comparisons. Really got to hand it to Hasbro with this one. They really knocked it out of the park as usual for me. Sculpt amazing all around, aside from the issues with the feet, and of course just the minor paint issues that I noted. And of course just really nice. I love this. This is definitely one of my favorite figures of the Rogue One series so far. Definitely worth adding to your collection if you come across them in a Toys R Us. But definitely try not to overpay for this guy, because he's really big with the scalpers right now. I know, like, he's going upwards. Like last time I saw, like $70 or even $80, which is just obscene in my opinion. Like, you really shouldn't be paying more than $25 to $30 for this guy. He's awesome, but really not worth it, especially since last year, like, similar thing happened with the Snowtrooper. Like, it was really sparse at first, but then later on he kind of became a peg warmer, which I do think is going to happen to this guy, but it might take a little bit longer just because he is the first one released of the Hovertank pilots, and he is just the standard version. It's not like he's a commander or captain or anything like the Snowtrooper was, so it's going to be more essential for people, especially for army builders. But yeah, definitely a worthy addition to your collection if you're into collecting the series. You know, aside from the minor issues, and of course the fact that he just comes with one gun, which does kind of hurt it for me a little bit, just because I know, like, that's been an issue as well with them just kind of skimping on some accessories with certain characters over others. But that aside, he is really nice, and like I've already said, worth picking up, and definitely, you know, I cannot stress enough, if you're into this, do not pass him up if you see it. Thanks for checking out the very first episode of Jedihunter Toy Reviews, and like I said, since it's my very first episode, I definitely appreciate some feedback below in the comments, letting me know if there's anything that I can improve or change or even possibly get rid of altogether. Things to look forward to. I might have another review out at the end sometime this week, or towards the end, or maybe possibly even early next week, just depending on how this goes, is received. I might be taking a look at some of the upcoming Black Series toys when they are eventually released, and I might also be taking a look at just the Rogue One wave, since I know I just kind of bypassed that and went to this one. But I definitely want to give a look at this figure properly real quick, just because it is so nice. And I might also be taking a look at some of the original releases of the Black Series and see where it all began, possibly a retrospective, or just maybe just mini reviews, and possibly some Marvel Legends reviews, as I've been starting to get into that line a little bit more recently, but might not be covered as much as, say, the Black Series line, as that's like my main focus right now. But yeah, definitely leave a comment below if you like the video as well. Go ahead and give it a like and subscribe. Definitely some more videos to look forward to in the future, and have a great day.